Crimson Peak sucked. Let's get that out of the way. It was mismarketed, miscast, and lacked a clear vision of what it was supposed to accomplish, which is surprising given the team that was behind it. Del Toro is an amazing director, an excellent monster designer, and usually has a way with stories where less is more but shit happens. The problem with Crimson Peak was more is less, shit doesn't happen. Before anyone jumps down my throat about not getting the movie, don't. It may or may not have been a story the main character was writing when the publisher turned her down. The movie did open like the storybook, and I believe after the credits the same thing happened. It closed, showing her as the author. Also, not many people caught the butterfly motif. Early on in the movie, Lucille lectures Edith on the death cycle of butterflies, while explaining that the black butterflies where she lives tend to suck the warmth and actually eat the beautiful golden butterflies. It clearly represents the fact that Lucille is suffocating the life out of everyone around her, just like her mother did. It was no secret, the wardrobe gave it away. The main character is always wearing gold, and Jessica Chastain, who's naturally redhead, is wearing black. You could argue that Edith was a cocoon until after the incest reveal. Her dress did get more and more gold as the movie went on, but whatever, I get it. The plot is tiresome. There's a million other movies that have a slowly poisoning the character to attain a fortune plotline that's been done to death. For example, let's look at a few now. Cloud Atlas, Misery, The Sixth Sense, twice on CSI. We all know who they really stole from though. That's right, I said stole. As in Del Toro watched another movie this year with a similar premise and took a plotline straight out of it. I'm talking about Dumb and Dumber 2. What's next, Del Toro? You gonna have Jim Carrey make out with Hiddleston too? Get your own plot and stop stealing original ideas.
Oh, Billy.
The incest angle was probably put in because that's popular nowadays. While with everyone writing Game of Thrones fanfics and fighting over their OTP Jaime and Cersei Lannister. But I do give respect for Del Toro. He never does the same genre twice, which is why I think the marketing department hid the fact that this is a Harley Quinn romance novel disguised as a horror movie. Which it is. There's no argument. This is a gothic romance novel. There's no horror, just revelations. In fact, you don't even need ghosts. The ghosts are 100% useless in this movie. If you take out every ghost scene, you still have the romance novel plot and it still works. I'm not one to tell someone how to fix their movie. Actually, I'm the least qualified. But I'm going to tell you how to fix Crimson Peak without removing any major scenes or dialogue. Number 1. Make Crimson Peak relevant. The movie is called Crimson Peak, and it physically bleeds gallons of blood, but it's never touched upon. It just does. At one point, they do barely mention something about mineral oil being pushed up, but at the end of the movie, it's just a mountain that oozes red clay, completely wasting the potential of the plot. How you can do this is with their mother's final words. His blood will be on your hands. Their mother knew about the incest that was going on, and when facing death, she cursed Lucille and Loki's fate with her dying wish. You can make the blood clay a repercussion of this. How it slowly eats away at the house, giving Loki a ticking time bomb to get his machine up and running properly. The only thing that could grow would be these sick-looking black thorns or something, making the peak an eyesore to look at. So the local villagers, who could then warn the doctor when he mounts his rescue effort, hey man, shit's getting weird up there. You might want to bring a fucking weapon instead of nothing at all. Which in turn would make the doctor seem a little smarter, since his big plan is, I'm gonna steal this crazy murderer's wife, turn my back on him, and slowly walk away. Number 2. Loki's machine, which is the dumbest invention in the history of fiction. I'm not sure how they mined clay back then, but I can guarantee you it wasn't an immovable backhoe, because that's what his invention is, a backhoe without wheels, which literally digs up the clay and dumps it right behind the machine, with no mining equipment or rails to move it somewhere else. If you make the clay a curse of Crimson Peak, it would fill back in or constantly eat away at the inner machinery. Which, if you want us to take it seriously, make it more infernal. Make it look like a blasphemy. Everything in Loki's life should have been cursed. This would explain why he needs so much money to get his John Deere tractor going. It keeps breaking down. The clay keeps eating at it. He makes more crazy designs to work around it, but it will never ever work. Eventually becoming an eyesore on the land along with the black thorns. Number 3. Edith. Make Edith a stronger character. She had hints of it at the beginning, but quickly lost it. I actually thought they were going to rehash her character arc from Alice in Wonderland, which was also a terrible movie, but they regressed back and threw that out the window. It might have been a stronger movie if she had some sort of character development. The closest we get is her forgiving Hiddleston for his incest and adultery. At the end of the movie, in the final fight scene, Edith gets an opportunity to shine. They actually give her a cool one-liner. I thought of a few cooler ones on the ride home though. Picture this. Edith picks up her shovel and screams, "Dig this!" and wha-bam! Smacks Lucille. Or an even better one. "Hey Lucille, I named the shovel after your brother. Why don't you kiss it? Bam! Wha-blam! Thank you, ma'am!" Number 4. Make the ghosts do something besides nothing at all.
One of my favorite sets in the movie is the Gothic corridor, where ghosts manifest themselves. That corridor is full of neat visual tricks. It's shaped like a negative space of a human figure. It's a very, very important setting where ghosts emerge.
The corridor seemed like a succession of arches studded with rows of spear-like teeth. And it's a part of the house that Thomas avoids, because that part of the house is where the darkest secrets are buried.
At this point, they're just trailer fodder to trick people into seeing a Halloween movie. While he's always had excellent creature design, he focused way more on the ghost looks than he did the storyline. There was one time a ghost pointed to the next plot point. Thanks, Mrs. Ghost. You actually had a relevant job and you nailed it. You could have fixed this by having them show up at the final battle to just watch, or even drag Loki to hell with them, showing he can never escape his cursed fate, even in death.
Okay, here we go. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right, describe Crimson Peak in one word.
Spooky.
Fuck it, let's just go watch Pacific Rim another time.